and welcome to another FrontLines episode. And today we're going to cover infiltration as opposed to invasion. So there's a lot of this conversation happening. I did touch on it also, or mention it in the article, video article, I guess we can call it. And it's is that a article? Worldwide Civil War, Us versus Them. And thank you for all the positive comments that have been coming in on that. I really do appreciate it. I'm excited about this series of articles, and I'm still, trying to work out the best way of editing and doing things like that. Even with these broadcasts, I'm going to push through and see how well this works, even though YouTube is telling me it may cause some lag when I'm doing the video, as in right now. But I'll be turning it off shortly to proceed to talk about the other issues. And again, I'd like to thank you for all your positive comments coming about that article. I see this series as a way of explaining in slices what the situation is in the world to the people that really need help understanding it, because it's going to be very confusing for people. They're waking up and they really don't even know that they were asleep. So in other words, they find themselves in a whole new world, or as we've been discussing, a whole new reality. Realizing that there was more to the world that they did not see, that was hidden from them on purpose, and they were pushed into believing certain things and acting certain ways, programmed to act in certain ways. And so the series is meant to help those people, and for you to have the tools to help other people understand what's going on. And it's deep as it is, and I'm not going to go to the ultimate depths as every rabbit hole we can travel down. But I hope to cover it in a very big cross view, and then we'll dive in as we go down. But anyway, the first is finished. The next one is underway. Researching on that and trying to make it clear. This last one, I had 7 rewrites at least to try and do certain things, and certain things I left in for a purpose, even though it seemed like a little bit odd. But anyway, just is part of the process. So again, thank you. Also, thank you for, I did receive one donation, and that does help. Donations will be most welcome at this time. Please, if you're interested, you can join us on the website, wwg1wga.love. And you can sign up for a monthly contribution of, I suggest, $8.88 a month. And if I had 100 people doing that, that would really take care of things. That would be really good. So that's a good goal. Get to 100 people at $8.88. Those that decide to do the $99.99 a year will also help tremendously. And we're here to do this. This is an important part of this Great Awakening, is to help people understand what's going on. It's been my mission to fight the deep state. That's our new name. Before I used to call them many other things, cabal, for the last 10 years. Before that, I called all sorts of Illuminonkeys to other names. Sometimes bloodline families, bankers. These things were all there. You could just say the Federal Reserve. At certain times I was just talking about them. But this has been an ongoing battle. And we're all in it now, all of us. It's spilling into the streets. It's in our face. The other side is fighting, right? And this isn't mostly an information war. There's things that I've been discussing with you, and I found another video. We'll go over that a little bit later. That helps really put some things in perspective. I didn't do it, but I've said many of these same things for example, Trump making the world tour, meeting with the Emperor of Japan, and then going to Vietnam and having a missile attack at him at that time, meeting Kim Jong Un, then going back to Japan, and then going to the UK. And what happened in the UK? I said, what happened in the UK? Well, this guy kind of is implying some things that are happening in the UK. I think that there's a document was signed, but anyway, and let me not get too far ahead of myself here, because there's some other things I'd like to cover before we go too deep. But again, helping by donations is going to be very helpful at this time. Do what you can. And there is a PayPal address also directly down below. You can go directly that way. And also needing help, if you want to learn about how to create videos and things of that nature, you can contact me. I can help you, put that together. I was thinking of doing classes and that. I actually had designed a class for that particular purpose in the past. Never got it off the ground. It was, but that's a whole other story. But I was preparing a curriculum and everything, and it was going to be great. But this may be something, time to bring it up again and start doing that. So let's kind of dive in here. Let me switch this over here. Maybe I got to turn this off first. Go back here for a second. Turn that off so it's not causing any problems. Hopefully not. Maybe it is. Don't know. All right. So this is my Telegram screen. So let me pull this up. This is for wwg1wga.love Telegram group. Information down below in this video. And there's a lot of good material in here. It comes in every day. Fantastic stuff, good resource. Even this image that people have seen of all these explosions that happened in a 24-hour period around the world, some really big ones, and there's been a lot of speculation as to, was this an accident or what exactly happened there. Now, I lined this up. Let me see. Let's switch over here. Okay, and so this image, you might have seen, but have you seen this one? This is looking at the different wavelengths of light that it's measuring. I'm not sure. I think it might be UV, but let's play this and we'll see what it looks like. This explosion. Okay, did you see that? I'll turn down the audio on it. But we saw that there was a streak going through, and we're able to see that happen. So this means that there was some sort of missile that was coming in. Do you see now? He was circling it there on that video. We're going to replay this again to look at it, so don't worry. So this is the ammonium nitrate. It takes a lot to get it to explode, is what that was showing. There's a blowtorch on it. So let's zoom in here a little bit. I'm gonna go backwards on it. No, I think I shouldn't. I thought it was already ahead. Here it comes. There it goes. Now let me back it up. So you can see the streak going backwards. All right, so what is that? That looks like a missile, right? So there we go. So there is a missile coming in at that angle. Now later on, he's drawing this line here. Let's see. There, let me cap it again. A different angle. And on this one, you can see it. I'm going to go slowly across here. There it is. It's coming into view right there in this, right in the blue circle towards the top. It looks black and just keeps going straight through that area. All right, so now we know this was exploded by an attack, right? So Trump had said it's an attack on a bomb. He didn't say it that way, but he said it's an attack, and it was on a bomb. So it was attack on a bomb. I don't have that clip signed up for this right now, but that's okay. So let me go ahead. I want to close this out. Seems like my dog is making himself known. Okay. Let me turn this back on. All right, so we're back over to my browser, and we're just going to look at a couple things. So, of course, I do have my Patreon. I'm sorry, not Patreon. My Parler. Some people ask me, why don't you have a Patreon account? I actually did set up one, but when I found out that the deep state was interfering with people that were collecting funds on there, why do I want to have that problem? Right, so I just stopped. But anyway, so here's Parler. I'm up to 1.2K followers, and I am continue to post things here. This one was, I think, was pretty good. 449 people have seen this 5 days ago. This was Fauci, from 2000 article in 2005 that says that hydro, that a letter we can't say, and then Quinn, how you spell it? CUE. Yeah, anyway, you got it. So it's spelled out here, and it's a potential inhibitor of SARS coronavirus infection and spread. And if you go down here, it says, so here it is, this malaria medicine functions as both a cure and a vaccine. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see Trump come out and say that that is the vaccine that he's going to be giving out to everyone. So on that note, let me see. Do I have that? Oh, this is the website. This is where you go and you should join the Q Army, wwg1wj.love. Just hit join the Q Army, and that's where you can sign up. Let me go over to here. A couple of things. Not that one. Not that one. This is I was speaking about this a little bit earlier. We'll get back to this. It's still that way. Okay. So I'm looking for a particular one from Trump. Maybe it's this one. I think it's that one. Okay, let's play this one because I've got too many screens going on here right now.
Right now, they're not ready, and they're not ready because, frankly, I don't think they care about people. I think they.
Right here, he's talking about the Democrats and this relief package because he's signing executive orders right now to do all of the things that Congress is not doing. So it's very interesting timing because he's literally bypassing Congress, but he has the right to do it because of the emergency. The power is given to him by Congress in case of the problems of infiltration of the government.
Care about their politicians that have done a terrible job running the cities and states, Democrat cities and states that are bleeding money, that have been so badly run. You take a look at Baltimore, and you take a look at so many different cities, including the ones I've already mentioned. Take a look at what's going on. And they want lots of money to keep it going. For many years they've been bad. So all I'm doing is we're having it out. We're finally having it out. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, if you go ahead on your own on unemployment insurance, I'm wondering both where you're going to get the money to pay for that without Congress, and will people still get $600 a week?
Yeah, we have the money. We have the money.
They'll still get $600 a week?
I won't say that yet. You'll see that when it happens, but we have the money.
Will you say what number?
We have it, Justin. We have plenty of money. Yeah, please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President.
So that was one of the points I wanted to point out. He says, we have the money. What money? Congress is not appropriating things, so where's the money coming from? So we have to ask these questions, right? Because if he is that confident in the money being there, may it have something to do with maybe Kim? Just asking that question. I'm just going to point out here that the Life Force will have a weekly call. Last week's was not on Zoom. They tried to use another service. Now they're back to using Zoom. So the information is here on the Life Force. Go ahead and download the Life Force app onto your phone, and then you'll be able to get a hold of this information. You can go to lifeforce.global or lifeforce.cc, and you'll be able to find the information there. So this is going to be in about, 16 hours from now. So set your alarms. For me, I'll have to get up at 3 a.m. like I did last week and then couldn't get on the call. But your support is there. So now this is the app part of the website, right? So, but do download it and get it onto your phone. So this is just the view from this point of view, right? And you can basically take a look and see, what's happening in the community right now. And of course, we are anticipating at some point having the apps be able to help us with funding projects and things of that nature, and it'll be all coordinated by way of those apps. So look forward to that. So, okay, back over to here for a minute. Let's finish hearing Trump out, since he says we've got the money.
President, you said that the pandemic is disappearing, but we lost 6,000 Americans this week, and just in this room, you have dozens of people who are not following the guidelines in New Jersey, which say you should not have.
No, they don't have to. This is a political activity. You're wrong on that, because it's a political activity. They have exceptions, political activity, and it's also a peaceful protest. So when you have, and as you know, they asked if they could be, a number of, and to me they look like they pretty much all have masks on, but you have an exclusion in the law. It says peaceful protest or political activity, right? In fact, specifically, it says exactly political activity or peaceful protest, and you can call it political activity, but I'd call it peaceful protest, because they heard you were coming up, and they know the news is fake. They understand it better than anybody. And they asked whether or not they can be here. Like the question about Russia. He doesn't mention Iran was in the report. He doesn't mention, or he mentions very late, that China was in the report, because that's the way they are. They're not. If the press in this country were honest, it wasn't corrupt, if it wasn't fake, our country would be so much further ahead. But we're doing.
Okay, so let me stop it here for a moment. Let me switch back over here. Okay, so this is kind of an important point. You have to think, how deep has the planning been? How much of all that we're watching is part of a story, part of a movie that's being played out for one purpose: to wake everyone up. Literally, wake everyone up. What if it was so far orchestrated that let's say that Trump literally already took over different elements of the press and the government? Right? What if these pressers that are out there, where the press are out there saying these stupid things. They're so stupid, right? It's like it makes any sense the way that they question these. They are obviously looking stupid. Now the question is, were they ordered to look stupid? I'm not saying that this is a little bit deep to think about it that far down. I'm not saying one way or another, right? But in that video that I was referring to, that actually puts things into a timeline. The very first part of it, when Trump took office, and the first things that he does is he what does he do? Goes to CIA very first day. What does he do? He goes to which was Saudi Arabia, like in the beginning of 2018. In the beginning of 2018, he goes right to Saudi Arabia. He starts making this worldwide tour, starting with Saudi Arabia. He says in this video, and I'll show you. I'll show it to you. But he says in this verse, Trump went there. He brought all of the material, all the videos, high quality production videos of all the horrific things that these people have been doing in underground facilities. And then he went and got Saudi Arabia to now change. Now we saw that following the CUE 17 movement, right? And on qmaps.pub, we've seen lots of information that was related to what happened in Saudi Arabia, that 1/3 of this pyramid, one of the lines was removed, that they were no longer part of this collection of our children for these nefarious purposes. Right. But in this video, he's talking about this timeline and everything, but one of the very first things he does is he takes over CNN. So CNN, how horrible they are, have they been ordered to just look horrible, as bad as they were before? Can you really imagine how stupid they are at this point, and all the stuff all the evidence that points away from, say, Russian collusion, all this, and all points to really how it's so obvious to the people? Is it really that he's taken over? I don't know, but it is worth considering. That's all I'm saying. That it is possible. It is possible that they were this takedown of the deep state has been orchestrated to such a level that they're just doing the wrap up with these people and making them expose themselves to everybody so that people wake up, because they could have removed everybody. And if you think about it, we heard that the military was going to have a coup when Obama was there. If they didn't have Donald Trump run and win, their alternative was to literally do a military takeover of the country to save it, right, from all of this stuff that was going down. So if they were ready to do that, wouldn't have they been ready on the day one of Trump winning, right, to go in? But they're doing another play. What this is to change the reality for everybody. Everyone has to wake up. So they said the purpose of this movement, the 17 movement, is to wake everyone up. So if they can wake up the population of the world, not just the United States, of the world, as to what has been going on, as to how deep this has been for so long, how much we really were in the matrix, programmed by all of the entertainment, all of the newspapers, all of everything for so long, that we really just couldn't see. We couldn't see what was going on. In this video, they point out, you remember the milk cartons with the kids' faces on it? They were disappearing. Well, why didn't that wake everyone up? I remember those when I was a kid. Why wasn't everyone up in arms and really chasing down? Because there were so many different faces on milk cartons. So, this is where we're at right now. We're in this great awakening. So let me switch this over. I'm going to get this this one. Let's look at this one. All right. This is just what we call the, how am I going to say, alphabet 17, or CUE, proof. So this is, listen to what Trump says. Did you hear? Did you hear what I hear? So let's listen to what we hear here.
We're going to win big. But we're going to win, and we're going to win big. You just watch. We have the cards. They don't.
What did he say? Right here?
Watch. We have the cards. They don't.
Right, not the cards.
Watch. We have the cards. You just watch. You just watch. You just watch.
You just
watch.
Q?
We have the. You just watch. We have. You just watch. You just watch. We have the cards. They don't.
Yeah. Well, I think he's letting people know. This is August 7th. All right. So that's also an important thing. Now, this actually came from Time for You to Know. I'm just going to go ahead and follow. Okay, let's go back here. Now this is the qmap.pub, and it's I put in. I'm searching on the word infiltration. So the first one appears at number 57, Muslim Brotherhood infiltration of the U.S. government. So we're talking about the Muslim Brotherhood. Now don't think of this about a religion. Because just like we can't think at Black Lives Matters is about black people, obviously has nothing to do with black people, right? The black people that laugh at the BLM protests when there's only white people there protesting is nothing to do with it. Someone to basically martyr would not be George Floyd. He was not a model citizen. He was not a good guy. And if anything, he may also never have actually died. And if he did, maybe it was part of a ritual practice because he was part of this system, right? And the supposed killer was also someone that he's known for 17 years and worked with. Something a bit odd with that, right? So if we start looking though back here and we start looking at what we're talking about here, it goes all the way back to November 3rd, which is the first day, right? Talking about infiltration, right? And we can keep going through this, and we can see that we're talking about infiltration throughout. So this is again November 2017, December 2017, January 2018. March 2018, May 2018, June 2018, more June, July 2018, 2018. So we keep going, right? October 2018, January 2019. Right? So this is really what we've been told. We're talking about infiltration, March 2019, November 2019, into 2020, all the way up to the very last Q post that we actually have. Oh, I slipped up and said it. Kind of hard. All right. Well, anyway, I said it. So, this is from July 31st. This is the very last post, right? 4620. First word, infiltration. Only those who can be controlled via blackmail or like beliefs were installed in critical leadership positions across all political and non-political control and command positions, CCP, which is also Chinese Communist Party, interesting enough. CCP necessary to ensure protective blanket insurance, right? So we've been dealing with the insurance policies, right? Traders everywhere. D is Democrat leadership in joint ops with China, CCP, in an effort to regain power. It was never about the virus. Sequence of events. Flynn, first strike, designed to, number one, cripple, number two, prevent exposure of illegal acts by Hussein and White House Command and COC, I'm not sure, was that? Chain of Command. Through National Secretary and Intelligence, direct discovery, and then so 3, install controlled replacement, rogue McMaster, right? So Flynn was gone, McMaster came in, right? I think McMaster, I think it was him that took off to Israel when we heard that Kim had some success going there. There was a general that took off. I think it was McMaster. I might be wrong. But McMaster removal of loyalist intel community, right? So the people that were attached to Flynn, right? He got rid of them. Install controlled rogue Coates DNI. So Coates being the current one in position, and he was there to prevent the D class. Now, again, so we're dealing with constant, systematically structured system to prevent us from gaining power back by preventing the wheels of justice from turning the correct ways. So let's just continue. So prevent D-class, House and Senate blockade. Right, so there's been no major declassifications. Small declassifications, along with the drip has been happening, right? But not a big data dump. All right, but what if it's already been all declassified, but they're just not letting it come out? Do you think that's possible? Well, yeah, Trump already declassified it. And if you remember back when he went ahead and he made it declassified, but then he turned it over to Barr afterwards. He said, I've declassified, now it's in the hands of Barr. He's got but all of it was declassed. So, very interesting. Let me get back over to that other video. We'll end there. So, all right. So McMaster, Coates, Ray, and Bolton, right? These are 3 pluses. All right. They were installed, controlled, rogue, Bolton removal of loyalist intel community. So they were still working, right? But as these guys were working it, right, they were having to expose the other side. So this was a very intricate game of cat and mouse, allowing enough of them to go out and pull in and try and structure and prevent things from happening. When you can see what they're protecting, then and who's doing the protecting, you first find out what they need to protect. Then you know who's involved in doing the protection. So this is very difficult of way to basically go through this, but it had to be done this way. Prevent D-class public exposure of true events, illegal surveillance of Republican candidates, 1 and 2. Who's 1 and 2? Trump and Ted Cruz. House members, 1 through who knows how many. Senate members, 1 through who knows how many. Journalists, 1 through who knows how many. Ambassadors, 1 through who knows how many. And classes 1 through 99 events. So all these other events that were there. So Mueller was installed. Comey, Terminator, loss of power, POTUS inside a box, prevent counterattack. So this is what they were doing. They were trying to prevent Trump from attacking, right? All right. So impeachment and installed Mueller, termination, loss of power, POTUS inside the box, prevent counterattack. All right. Then here's the con job 19 insurance plan above all fail. Con job 19 installed impeachment. Terminated, right? So what happens? So after this came in, the impeachment ended. We've slid right from impeachment right into pandemic. Seems a little planned, isn't it? Termination, loss of power, put us inside a box, prevent countermeasure attack. So we've got this repeated events thing. So stage 1 for the con job 19, inform POTUS, Intel plus CDC plus WHO plus S advisors. What's S advisors? Nothing to fear, nothing to, do not close travel, do not. So they first said, hey, all these people said, hey, there's no problem. No need to do anything. But did Trump not just close down travel? He stopped people from China, then Europe, from coming to America. So he took action to stop what was happening. And plus, there was a wall built. Couldn't just throw them over the southern border. And then the CODGEM 19, stage 2, inform POTUS of doomsday, inaccurate scenarios, models, predicting death count, 1 million plus, the political force, lockdown, wipe economic and unemployment gain. So all of this was to, destroy the economy. Stage 3, activate controlled Democratic governors to spike the death count and project statewide fear by presenting alarming on-ground conditions, hospital, care supply, and projections. So we saw that all happen, right? They spiked the death count. Everything was a fake death. How much of this, 100, I think it was 140,000 people died. How many of them actually were from COVID? And how much was it could have been influenza, it could have been other diseases. We don't know, right? But when Italy had the 3,800 people that were said to have died from the con job 19, they did autopsies and they found out only two died of that, and I believe that they were over 80 years old. So big con job. All right, stage 4, push testing, spike infected rate, incline due to daily testing, right? The political setup, right? So that's why they said, well, we have to test so it shows how many people are infected. Well, what is it testing for? It's testing for the waste product of cells, the RNA. It's testing what came out of the cell as waste. And it's a piece of garbage that could also match any other flu. We'll just say influenza, for example, or any of the other coronas that came through. Doesn't mean it was con job 19 version. It doesn't have anything to do with it at all. But to say you've been infected in the past. So this is just, again, about fear. Okay. Control the MSDNC failure to report death count rates. So they're not talking about the death counts. They only want to talk about infected rates. Right? Why is that? Why do they want to just do that? Don't they look stupid? Wasn't this, why don't they say, hey, it's no worse than the regular flu? All right. Okay. Proportional to infected rate, deliberate miscounting of infected numbers, change non-positive to positive, label death of C19 as C19, etc. Oh yeah, by the way, I don't know if I've mentioned this, but I think I did, but I'll say it again. Here in Quezon City, in Manila, it's like a suburb of Manila. It's like this general area of Manila. It's like one of the main cities, Quezon City. A print shop was busted for producing fake death certificates with COVID as the cause. So why do they need a print shop to create these in a country where the virus can't even exist? Since the first day of what they called the lockdown here in the Philippines, this virus could not exist outdoors or even indoors for any particular amount of time because it can't survive. It's a hot, humid country. That's why there's no flu seasons in the Philippines. People don't get the flu. Can't exist, right? So if someone could come from outside, come from like Wuhan, fly into the Philippines, be in the room with them, infect everyone, and maybe if you're over 80, you may end up having a problem. The rest of it just died off right there because they breathed it out into an atmosphere that couldn't support it, and it just dissolves. So it's gone. So how does it have 140,000 death toll in the Philippines? How? Fake death certificates coming out of the print shops. Why would they do it? Well, the UN told all of the countries of the world, you follow the WHO procedures for locking down the countries, and you implement all the social distancing practices, and for every COVID death, we'll pay you 55 grand. So why wouldn't the poor country say, yeah, give us that money? Oh, and then and you don't care how many proof of death? No, don't care at all. So produce as many. Oh, we have 140 million people in the Philippines, and we have 200 million deaths from COVID. I mean, if they could get away with it, I'm sure it would occur. But now they're saying 140,000. Anyway, let me continue back to this. All right. Okay, con job 19, stage 5, eliminate, censor any opposing views. Anti-narrative ready when needed, right? So we saw that. So I put up the doctors, the warrior doctor on the video. I even had to do a camouflage version. It lasted for a week until the AI figured out what the camouflage was. But at least I got that out there. I edited just the warrior doctor. And what she was saying, and very powerful, right? But all those doctors were fired. All retribution was done upon those doctors. So all right, activate 4-year BLM narrative. All right, so 4x power use as division 2020. All right, so they're talking about this now. All right. Let's see. Effective rate to justify a close limit until November 3rd. So basically, don't be close to one another until after the election, right? So you can't go to the polls. Mail-in ballots. That's what they're all talking about. Calculate political gain. Eliminate record of economic gains. Eliminate record of unemployment. Shelter Biden from public appearances. Limit public exposure of mental conditions. Shelter Biden from the Ukraine exposure. Narrative, change media focus to the COVID. Shelter Biden from debates, request demands due to the con job 19. So no debates because he can't be in the same room with Trump. All right, so anyway, so delay convention, strategic takeover of nominee post conference. So taking over the nominee. So they're going to take over Biden right before that. So that means they're going to remove him, they're going to replace him, or are they still going to push him forward? We'll wait to see. That's going to happen this month, I think, or next month. I think they might have delayed it till next month. Eliminate the ability for people to gather and divide. Then we can be divided, right? Eliminate people to find peace, strength in time of need. Strict church closures. Promote mail-in voting as only one safe method. Bypass NSA election security. Install midterms +1. So, yep, promoting the mail-in ballots. All right, next, push state bailout stimulus. And this is what Trump was saying on some of these speeches. Is that he's not going to go along with the Democrats trying to bail out the states that are run poorly, and they had a problem before COVID. It's not going to provide them trillions of dollars. Right? I think yesterday we covered how Gavin Newsom is looking for $1 trillion for California. Well, where's all the money that went for the bullet train? Where'd that money go? It's gone. Right? Well, why wouldn't this money also disappear? They're not putting it in. They're not going to get less people out of tent cities. So, all right, next, increase national debt. Place China into controlling debt position, regain leverage. Right. Test conditional limits of public acceptance. Test conditional limits of public non-acceptance. So, what are you willing to put up with? Is the question, right? And we shouldn't put up with this anymore. And we are standing up and stopping it. So test control limits of state authority, governors and mayors. So this is then they know what the mayors can do, what the governors can do. Test the conditional limits of media, social censorship. How far can the social censorship go before we go and grab pitchforks and chase these people down the street? Who benefits the most? Well, the Democrats, China, Russia. Whoop. What's that? Somehow I launched that. Get back. I think they were just say Russia. They say, look at Russia, look at Russia, look at Russia. China is our friend. Look at Russia, look at Russia. Basically, is what is being said there. All right. MS DNC social media programming, all assets deployed. I mean, they're all in right now. What we're seeing is everything coming down the line. All right, so everything seen yesterday, today, and tomorrow equals calculated political moves and events designed and launched by the Democratic Party in coordination with other domestic and foreign entities, right? In an attempt to regain power over you, prevent accountability, shadow presidency of Hussein, shadow government, information warfare, insurgency. There is our word, insurgency. Your voice and your vote matters. Patriots stand united. Welcome to the revolution. There we go. So let me cover one thing here. About infiltration. This particular video comes from Alice Down the Rabbit Hole. Very good. This guy right here is just, I just want to point out his face, right? Behind him, we'll look and see there's actually a green, evergreen shipping container. All right. So this is in Australia, but this guy, his name Elihai Priest. Right. So we're going to now listen to Isaac Cappy talking about infiltration. Let's listen to it.
All people who align with that to take a serious, hard look at themselves. But that's up to you. We owe the Cappy family our respect, and I hope that you provide that and you speak and act in ways according to that respect online, and really put speculation and unfounded rumor to the trash bin where it belongs. Thanks very much for listening.
Isaac said himself that he no longer trusted LEI.
So much infiltration, guys. So many infiltrators. Fiona, Elihai, Jason Boss. Jason Boss collaborated with Gabe Hoffman. Wow. It's a really bad look. Fiona Barnett. Yeah, Fiona Barnett. I don't even know what her deal is. I don't know why she does what she does. I don't know if she's just... Yeah, Fiona's an infiltrator. You can't just fucking lie about shit. You can't just lie about stuff. You can't just make shit up. It just makes everybody look bad.
I'm going to stop it right there. So just so you know, Isaac Cappy is talking to a stream of chat group. That's where the video is just on him. He's responding to questions in the chat group. He was outing Tom Hanks and all of Hollywood on the pedophorism, right, and all of the horrible things, right. And he, just before he ended up dead on the freeway overpass, like 2 days before, he said, "I'm not suicidal. I'm not going to commit suicide." So, and then of course, then they claim, "Oh, he committed suicide." No, and you can see that there was a kill order put out on him, through imagery. So that's all that going on. But he's talking about infiltration. Everywhere they use infiltration, right, as their method. All right, so that's it. So we're going to cover one more thing. This is the video I was talking about. This is, he goes through a timeline. We'll listen to a couple parts of it. We're going to skip through it. It's a very long video, but it's well worth seeing. So you can chase this down also, Jay Freeman, right? I'll put the link also. The link is already in the wwg1wga.love Telegram group. Again, the link is down below already, so you can go there and you'll be able to find this in there. But let's just, I'm going to go back to the beginning. This is somewhere right now around an hour in. I'm going to go right down back to the beginning of this. We're going to listen.
This is going to be the proof for you, okay, to give you the strength to have the courage to trust in the plan for the next 6 months, because you're going to see overwhelming proof across the entire earth from the summer of 2017 till now. You're going to see this play itself out. So to make it clear again, CNN is now in control by POTUS, Donald J. Trump. Boris Johnson and the British government is under control of POTUS and the NSA and the Q plan, the Q group. This is all being run by this group. Every single government on earth, all of them, have capitulated over to Trump, and that's why Trump made from 2017 to early 2019.
He hit the ground running.
Yes, he did, and he took 6 months to clean the swamp in Washington, and then we're going to start here in a sec. And then he went to Saudi Arabia first because he needed to. There's a reason he went to Saudi Arabia first, and that was the summer of 2017, and that's where this whole story I'm going to tell you today begins. So if you're listening, and you're just going to walk away from this angry or whatever, but you need to understand, mea culpa. It rests with you. It rests with me. If it wasn't for us being so asleep, none of this would have been allowed to happen. We should have woken up to the milk cartons 30 years ago, 40 years ago, with all of these children going missing. If we live in the most advanced Western world in the history of the world, then what the heck are so many children going missing for, and why are so many kids on milk cartons?
Yeah, the excuse of us being asleep just doesn't cut it when you see what's been taking place right under our nose. That just doesn't cut it.
So I know some of you are going to be very angry with this. All I can say to you is that we are responsible. All of us are responsible for this, and this is and you just also need to see this as an opportunity. The next 6 months are an opportunity. It's an opportunity for all of you to become the kind of hero that you've always wanted to be in your eyes. Trust in you. Trust in the plan that there are good people fighting against the sickest, most evil people in the creation of evil. Come on. There are good people out there. You get up and be part of this.
They are our tribe.
Absolutely.
Let's support them. We're the digital warriors. Yeah.
And be strong. And be strong for your kids, like so many of you already are. And be that hero. This is your chance. These 6 months.
I'm going to skip ahead a little bit here.
And there he went and paid a visit to the Crown Prince. Now, let me just go back, and I apologize to everyone because I just have had so many names in my head here. But Al-Walid it was the Crown Prince at that time. Now, he got right into the whole adrenochrome thing and the harvesting of children, and Saudi Arabia began to put in massive tunnel networks underneath the ground. This is all because this Al-Walid got sucked in by the cabal, the 13 families, as a huge player, one of the three main arms of their weaponry. So he was exalted with enormous power amongst the minions. Al-Walid became one of the key minions by going really evil. And there are a lot of Saudis that didn't like this. They knew what was going on, and they didn't like it. You can say whatever you want about some of their other beliefs and stuff, but there's a lot of people that draw lines with children. And so that's what he did, and this is why he needed to be taken down. And there are articles everywhere. You do your own research. The CBS News even did an article, and we're talking about weeks after Trump came and on his visit in July of 2017 to Saudi Arabia. After Trump left, that's when the arrests happened, and Al-Walid was arrested, taken down, and in his place was bin Salman. And bin Salman is somebody who was...
See if I have a little bit more. So it goes into a lot of the background stuff going on in Saudi Arabia at the time, but what it comes down to it, what he's saying is that Trump brought all of the information, all on the documents, all of the videos, placed it down in front of the king and said, this is true evil, you choose your side. Right? And basically broke it down at that point.
In the summer of 2017. That's step number one. After the declassify of this documentation via the NSA, this is
just the sword dance that he's talking about right here, this picture. This gave, the one holding the sword is the king. They gave the sword to Trump. Meaning they capitulated. They basically said, okay, you're now the leader. Go for it. If you just think about it, at that time when he was running around all the countries, he was lining up allies, right? He was bringing everyone on board. So let's continue.
Step number one, Saudi was the big player that they needed to get on side. So what is important to note is that where Trump went next, he went with Saudi as part of his team. So you need to understand, it's not just that he didn't go there and take them down and that they're never going to do it. No, they're now working for him. They're earning credits towards their own safe salvation and their own not being as harshly punished as they could have been and all the rest of this. We'll see how that all plays out. But they're part of this team. They're part of the Q plan now. You need to wrap your heads around this. And the new crown prince that replaced Al-Walid was bin Salman. And bin Salman really stepped up and became a key player and did a lot of things to help Donald Trump. And we're going to get to that. So that was step number one. Step number two. And then the days that followed, Trump left Saudi Arabia and went immediately to Israel. Okay? Do you remember how angry most of you got when you saw those pictures of Donald Trump at the Wailing Wall in Israel, and confirming all of our worst fears that he was a Zionist tool?
So he's answering questions from people. Basically saying that he basically brought Israel, the people in Israel, under the right side of things. So again, I wonder if that helped any.
Right, and folks, let me burst your bubbles here a little bit. This whole thing with Israel being the linchpin and being the real kings behind this, and that these Zionists, none of it's even real. You're just going to see it's all fakery, it's all subterfuge. There is no such thing, and I'm sorry, this is going to probably offend some people, but there is no such thing as a genetic Jew. There are lots of Hungarians and Poles and Czechs and Germans and Jews are just like us. They come from all over the place, but there's no genetic race called the Jew. Israel is Colleen calls it the ultimate Trojan horse. It is subterfuge. It is designed to take you down a rabbit hole, and there's no getting out of this rabbit hole because none.
So let's stop and talk about this one part for a little bit here. So this is that touchy, as you said, it's very touchy because it's not about being Jewish, right? This is a Trojan horse that was set up. The country was formed to cause a big fighting to happen within the Middle East, right? It's like in putting something in the middle to cause the problem. Right? Now, I don't know all the history and all the rest of it was going on, but what we do know is that the Rothschilds were in big part of creating the country, and that we know that this aspect of the Khazarian mafia, whereas their idea of world domination was written out, right, and these were put into their playbook to create World War I, to create World War II, to create the United Nations, and to create the financial system, to create World War III and Armageddon. It's in their playbook. Israel needed to be there because that was how they constructed that reality. In the end, they own everything. Right? So that's what we have to realize. So it's not about picking a religion and saying that's a bad religion, right? You get same thing about whatever the beliefs are in Saudi Arabia, and whether you want to like them or not like them. They were doing bad things to children. This is where we can agree. The rest of the stuff, we have to set it aside and not make it about any of that, because that's the division that they want. That's the reason that they create this scenario. So, and then if you are against one of the sides or the other side, then they can call you a name and then shut down the discussion because they called a name. So let's continue.
None of this really exists. Okay,
It's just like they're playing the black card right now.
Yes,
they like to play the Jew
card.
They
play the Jew card. So they invented all of this with Jews, and then the bad Jews, Zions, and I just feel terrible for all these people that have been dragged into this, that are innocent and beautiful people that truly see themselves as Jews, and that they're oppressed and they're hated by everyone, and now they're just being used by the Phoenicians. He's not a puppet for the Zionists. There are no Zionists. Remember, folks, there's just the Phoenicians. There's just those 13 families, and they're very smart. And they're
so here's the Borgia, Breaksphere, Salmagila, Orsini, Conti, Chigi, Colonna, Farnese, Medici, Gattani, Pamphili, SD, and I can't see the last one, Allabrantent. So this is where he's saying it's 13 family. Of course, where's Rothschild, where's Rockefeller, where's so that may be one of the things that's a diversion, right? Is to get people away from these names. All right, let's continue. Now there's that last one. Aldor Brandini, Aldo Brandini. Yeah, it's on play. A lot of lag getting it to play. Oh, try again. Not playing. Maybe some people are still writing down the names. Let's skip ahead a little bit, see if we can get it to roll. Okay, it seems to be stuck. We'll just leave it there while I talk about it a little bit more and see if it starts up. It's a problem. It's in Facebook, so it seems to have a lot of lag. So the next stop is the Vatican. So goes to Saudi Arabia, then to Israel, then to the Vatican, right? He's lining everything up. And you look at it from a religious point of view, it was a Muslim, Jewish, Christian, right? Lining it all up. So anyway, he's not. I guess it's not playing right now. I'll reload the page, see if we can get it to go somewhere around there. And when he goes to the Vatican, he presents all the same information he brought to the others. Here's all the bad stuff you guys have been doing. Here's the evidence. Hard documents, hard videos. You guys are not going to survive this. It's already declassified. Remember, everything's been declassified. It just hasn't been released by Barr. That's the slow drip that's happening to wake people up. But these people got to see it all. These people got to see everything that they have on them. They cannot survive this. So they're going to basically play the game. So that should continue from there. So so what Trump does is he gets them, the Pope, to allow him to be the exchequer position, the controller of all of the bank accounts under the Vatican. And the Vatican is where all the money, ultimately flows. Rothschilds are tied into this as well, but who's on top, who's on second? I don't know. Third base, that old Abbott and Costello, baseball piece where they go around in circles because we don't know. Maybe we know, but it's too hard for us to, say which one and when. I've held different positions over time. No audio. Let me turn up the audio.
Sacred truth about the Jewish heritage and tradition. That's why it was done. It was only done for one reason, just to be a symbolic act to show those who had eyes to see it that Trump had now taken down Israel. They submitted. Step number 2 of the journey completed. Saudi Arabia, Israel on board. So where would he go next? Who are the 3 big players? Saudi, Israel, and then the Vatican. So days later, he shows up at the Vatican and he presents to Pope Francis a massive, apparently the folder was absolutely huge, and handed it over to them and said, take your time, have a look-see, and put your red shoes on. They were apparently Trump kept making little digs at Pope Francis about his red shoes. Yeah, you might want to put your red shoes on when you look at all of this stuff, and you might want to wear your red shoes when you come back and give me your answer. So that's what Trump is saying. I'm not leaving here until you sign some documents for me. And we're going to get to why that was in a sec. But it took the Vatican that night, and the next day they capitulated to Donald Trump. And there is a very famous photo in that summer of 2000.
Yeah, that photo's of Trump and the Pope side by side. Trump is beaming, very big smile, and the Pope doesn't look so happy.
17 with Trump at Vatican City, right next to Pope Francis. Pope Francis looks like he's been run over by about 60 semi-trucks. Donald Trump has a look on his face that is a mixture of victory, joy, and mischievousness. Like he knows he's committed a big act here. So Trump has a massive grin on his face, and Pope Francis looks like he's had both of his eyes punched in by about 60 thugs. He looks so horrific. And they symbolically signed off. Now, what did the Vatican have to do to sign off? You see, the Fed is controlled by a certain group within the Catholic Church. Who went forth and spread the teachings of Christianity? The Jesuits! because they're holy men. No. The Jesuits are the real mafia, my friends. Every little group of mafia in every single town around or across this vast earth, every little mafia pays homage to this particular group in the Catholic Church. They are in charge. They are the true mafia, and they were in control of the Fed. So Trump did not leave until Pope Francis issued a papal bull announcing that by a certain date, the Vatican Bank, which was in charge of was the head executor, the exchequer of all of the earth-wide Federal Reserve banking systems in each country, would be handed over to one Donald J. Trump. Donald J. Trump is not, Mark, just the executor, the exchequer of the U.S. Treasury and therefore the Fed within the United States. He is the exchequer for Earth. He is the exchequer for the treasuries for every single country on Earth. That's what I told you earlier. No human being in history has ever been more powerful, owned more things, or richer than Donald Trump. Yeah.
Okay, we're just going to go ahead and end it right there. Again, this particular video, very well done. I would encourage people to watch the whole thing. I'll go ahead. I'll put it in below in this description after I'm done with this video. Just give me 5 minutes or so, and I'll get it done. Because it is, I think, a very good perspective on things. Again, the individual details may be a little off from what is real, but to give you enough detail of what is coming on from someone who put this all together. He saw what I saw. There was something going on with this trip, with Trump going around the world. He was lining up stuff. I don't know what he signed still in the UK. He didn't get into that. But I wish he would have. But there was these other events that were in line, and they did try to stop Trump. Like when he was when his flight was on his way to go meet with Kim Jong-un in Vietnam. That first time around, not in South Korea, when he crossed the DMZ, but before that, when he went to Vietnam. So that at that time they fired a missile from a submarine. That submarine was taken out later. The name of the submarine was the same name as the guy who was a pilot of he didn't pilot, but they said he was the pilot of he was an airport worker, the guy out on the grounds, doing with the little lights or driving those little vehicles around, whatever he was there, whatever his position. This guy just decides to get into a plane, hop in it, fly, do some loop-de-loops, and then crash into an island off the shore in Washington State. That island blows up like a huge explosion. People wonder, how was that possible for that plane to do that? And the guy who supposedly did it was the same name as a submarine that was decommissioned under the Clinton administration. Same name. Supposedly that submarine was the one that launched. And they have their own military, right? The deep state has its own military. That submarine was part of it. And they fired the missile at Air Force One. And they did not hit. But at times this is a shooting war, but mostly this is about information. It's about waking up the people. And that's what we're doing. So I encourage you to do your part. Share this video. Share the other video I have there that's the Worldwide Civil War, and all the ones that come out. Share those, get those out. Please do make a donation. This is a time that I'm in need of donations. This is a strange time in the world, and but I found myself I'm in need. So please do what you can, and I will put this link just down below. So. And then tomorrow, I'm still gonna try and get to trying to do this earlier in the day. Trying to get down to where I'm doing it like 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I know I tried to, but things got in the way. But I'm working my way there. So, okay. Until tomorrow. Thank you, everyone.